Okay, here is Sunday, your standard run. I like how you reassure her at the beginning. I do. I like how you reassure her at the beginning because she's definitely a little, I don't know if nervous is the right word, but not as confident as some dogs. This looks pretty nice here. She has no doubt where she's supposed to go. She's a little kind of pokey there because you were kind of slowing down. I don't like this, but it looks like you had a little indecisive moment there, like where maybe you forgot what you were going to do. And I think the end is good. So, at the beginning, it's. I think it's great that you reassure her at the beginning, but I also think it would have been great if you would have let out to here, like sort of even with the end of the chute, before you released her, because then when she came out of the chute, so when she was here, you could have already been up here. You could still be really close to the wing with your arm up and looking back how you are now, but you could have been way up here and just sort of stayed ahead of her, and I think she still would have taken those jumps just fine. And you could have sort of continued your motion in here kind of this way to do that blind. Your blind was late to the weaves, and you probably know that. So part of the problem is okay, so I already explained how you could have let out, but you came in here and made this really square corner and then had to sort of cut over here again. So it's just not very efficient. And I know that you have to make sure that you cue the jumps properly for her because she will go around things. And it's sort of a delicate balance with her. But here she's taking off, and ideally you should be here crossing her path and pretty much have that blind cross completed when she is where she is now taking off, because she's taking off right now and she cannot change her jumping path or her stride or anything. I think she clearly thought she was just going this way, which is what you were cueing, because you were pretty late. So here, here she's almost landed, and your shoulders, your motion, and your arms are still cueing this. And here you change sides, but she's already landed and has taken a stride, 2 strides, and she still manages to come back and get the weave. So that was a really, really good dog. I think this part is all fine. I'm not sure why you did a front cross at the bottom of the teeter. I don't think you needed to, but maybe there's a reason why you did that I don't know, and so that's fine. I don't have a problem with it. You get her into the right tunnel very clearly, no problem. You get ahead of her, and when you see she's coming, you keep moving, which is awesome, because a lot of people, when their dog was coming out of the tunnel here, they sort of held up at this double, which is never good. Most dogs like to see us in motion, and you did a really good job of keeping her moving. She never looked at any other jumps in this corner here. She did sort of slow down a little bit on the way to the tunnel, but I don't really know what else you could have done. And here you're clearly sort of indecisive. It looks like you were going to do a front, and then you were like, maybe I'm not doing a front. And that's fine. That happens to all of us. But you're kind of heading into it here. and she's actually sort of turning this way over the jump. So she's reading something from what you're cueing. And I do think you sort of got confused here, so I'm not going to overly be critical of it. But I just do want to say that it's really easy to see on the video, but she's clearly committed to this jump. So you could have been doing your front cross right where you are now and heading to this jump and then to the A-frame. But where you are now, you're sort of heading forward, and so you're sort of cueing the weave pulls and you're cueing the panel again. So you do turn your shoulders, and she does sort of read that. And then, but because you cue it pretty late, she's like, well, I'm just going to go to the weave pulls, because you're actually still cueing the weave pulls because you're still moving this way. But I don't think that's what your intention was, so. And then you get her to come back. I think she goes around this jump because you get her back, but you're a little far this way, and then you have to sort of peel yourself back around that jump. And so here you can see how you just crossed your feet there. So you were too far, and she just goes around the jump because it's easier. She is not the type of dog that will make a drastic correction for your handling, you know, whatever you're cueing. And that's not a criticism or a bad thing, it's just a statement. So some dogs will make a drastic modification to what they're doing based on what you're doing, and some dogs won't. And she's one of those dogs who won't. And I don't think that's a bad thing at all. It's just something to be aware of. You have to be a little bit more careful about what you're cueing.